Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Happy 2023. I know I've already done a beauty video, a full face makeup tutorial last week, which is black and white makeup, but I filmed that so long ago I wasn't sure when I was posting it. So this is kind of my first official 2023 video. This look is great for every day. It is awesome for any eye color, and it's really great if you are going to be wearing something warmer like a butterscotch or a caramel throughout the day. It just kind of pops your eyes and it pulls everything together, including the makeup. So if you want to see how to get this look, stay tuned. Let's get started. I've just put on my skincare and now I'm ready to kind of correct anything that needs correcting or kind of neutralize anything. I do have my NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Base back. Thank goodness. This is just the absolute best. So I take just a little bit from the doe foot applicator, I split it between my ring fingers, and I take it from the lash line all the way up to my brow. Again, I'm not putting it in the hairs because I'm going to be using powder and I don't want anything to mess with that. So taking it all the way from the lash line up to the brow, and because it is tinted, you can even bring it in a little bit right there if you feel like you need a little extra coverage. Now today I'm going to go without my corrector, mostly because I forgot it upstairs. But we are going to go in with a concealer, again by Giorgio Armani. This is the Luminous Silk Concealer, and this one is actually in 4.5. So I'm trying a new shade, and I think that it matches just a little bit better. The 4 was just feeling a little off lately, and it felt like I just needed a change to kind of update my color. So this is the 4.5. It's a little bit pinkier than the 4. The 4 is a little bit more yellow. But I kind of like that it has a little bit of pink in there because it does a little bit of correcting at the same time. And I am just very lightly tapping on the skin. I'm not dragging. I'm just kind of pretending like the brush is like my finger. So just kind of lightly pulling at the edges of that concealer, and then I can go back in with my finger and just gently tap and make sure that everything is blended in. Again, really, really lightly. And then we can go in with our foundation, and I am going to do my foundation first before the highlighter. I think, you know, you can do it either way, just depending on if you want a little bit more sheen or if you want it to be a little bit more subtle. As always, Luminous Silk Foundation, 4.5 as well, and using my really fluffy number 55. I said this a few videos ago, but this brush has been with me for a very long time, so it's not synthetic, and I cannot speak to the new 55 that's being sold, but this one is awesome, and I'm assuming that they worked very hard to get the synthetic one to act like the natural hair one that they used to make before everyone switched over to synthetic. And I'm just kind of bouncing my brush on the skin and then blending it out. Bounce and blend. If you are familiar with a beauty blender, it's very similar. It's kind of a similar technique. Now, I am kind of getting over a cold, so around my nose is a little red. And you can definitely go in with a smaller brush. But if you don't have time, just go in with your foundation brush and it'll be fine. And then I'm just going to add in a little extra coverage anywhere where I feel like I need to. One pump is usually all I use. So I don't have very much left on my hand. I'm going to pick up the rest on my brush, bring it up into the neck, make sure that everything is nice and blended. And because I'm using a fluffy brush, nothing's really sitting on top of the skin in a thick way. I mean, I could go in with maybe 2 or 3 layers of the foundation and then it would definitely look more full coverage. But the Luminous Silk, I think with a fluffy brush just gives you that really nice lighter side of medium coverage where the skin is still peeking through, but everything's nice and uniform at the same time. So now I'm going to go in with my Lisa Eldridge highlighter, still my favorite. I feel like I'm getting a little bit low on the bottle, so I will definitely be repurchasing. This is my favorite highlighter I have ever used. It works with fingers, it works with brushes, it just works. And you could definitely, again, go in with your fingers and do this, or you could use your foundation brush, your concealer brush. I have this brush, this Duo Fiber one, and it just feels like it works really well. I have been using this brush a lot lately for concealer and highlighter, and I've been really liking that like airbrushed finish and just really lighter touch to the concealer, especially if I feel like I need to layer a couple times, then this is a really great one to go for. It's not going to give you very much coverage, but if you want to go in multiple times with your products, then that's a good one to go with. Now I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury. You can tell I've been using this one a lot because it is getting small. This is the Rock & Kohl Bedroom Black. And we're going to tight line that upper lash line. This is a trick from NARS that I learned a very, very long time ago, and it just makes your lashes a little bit thicker. Sometimes, depending on the formula that you're using, it will transfer on the bottom, but that just gives you a really nice, soft, smoky eye. So I think it works no matter what. And because we're not doing anything crazy on the eyes, I am going to go ahead and powder with my pale yellow powder from Bobbi Brown on my precision powder brush, just through the center of the face. It is very cold and dry, so I don't want to do full crazy powder. If it was summer, or if it was like more humid where I lived, or I was hanging out somewhere humid, like if I worked in a greenhouse or something, then I would definitely powder the full face, but I don't want to take away any moisture that I don't have to. Bronzer brush from BK Beauty with my Natasha Denona sculpting powder, which for me, I feel like is just a really great matte bronzer shade. I'm going to go under my cheekbone and I'm going to sweep up onto the bone. And I just do that really quickly. And it just adds, because of my bone structure, I already have a little bit of a shadow, but I'm just kind of playing into that a little bit. And then I'm going to go right along my hairline. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is just to add a little bit of life, a little bit of color to the skin, especially in the winter, in January, when maybe you haven't been outside for a while. It just makes you feel good. Like you have been somewhere. Now we are ready to start on our eyes. So this is the eyeshadow palette that I'm using right here. We have Soft Brown, Cork, Rice Paper, and Woodwinked. These are going to be my brow colors as usual, Sandstone and Brun. So let's get started. I'm going to use my fluffiest brush, which is the 201 from BK Beauty. I'm going to just tap into the soft brown, flick off any extra, and I'm going to sweep this all over my lid and then bring whatever is extra up into the crease. And just do some windshield wiper motions, and then when I'm ready to kind of soften that look, I'm going to do little circles. So again, same thing, starting on the outer corner of the eye, sweeping onto the lid, and then sweeping up into the crease. I'm pretty much holding my brush straight on for maximum impact. And if you can see, this brush is kind of domed right there, so it's really softening everything as you put it down. So now I'm going to switch to the 217 and I'm going to go in with Cork. I'm basically going to do the same thing, except I'm going to focus more on that outer third corner. And this is just a really great way to start any eye look. Using these two colors that are really, really similar to one another just gives you a little bit of extra definition without going over the top. If you wanted this to be a smokier look or maybe like a nighttime look, you can definitely do more contrast, and that will give you a little bit more interest on the eyes. But there's not a huge difference between the two shades. One is slightly warmer, kind of like a pinky orange, that would be soft brown. And then Cork is a little bit more of that muted medium brown. So they complement each other really nicely, but they're not going to, they play well. They play nicely with each other. So now on the 203, I'm going to go in with Woodwinked. And I'm going to put that basically all over my lid, meeting up with what I've just done on the crease. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just very lightly tapping this shade on, making sure I get all the way to the lash line and all the way to my crease. Same on the other eye. Just really gently patting. This shadow blends like a dream. And this brush is amazing too. Okay, now you could definitely stop here, and this would be more of like a sultry day look, I would say. So if you want to brighten it up a little bit for my green-eyed and hazel-eyed gals, add a little bit of rice paper right on the ball of your eye, and that makes all the difference. So same brush, and I'm just gonna place this right on the ball of my eye, and it just brightens up the entire look, and holy moly, does it make a world of difference. So now we can go in with our liner, and I'm going to be using Chocolate Shimmer from Bobbi Brown. And actually, you know what, before we do that, I better do my brows because I'm using the same brush. So same colors, Sandstone and Brun. Those guys just seem to be working really well for me no matter what. I'm going to dip my angled brush from Sigma into both colors, and I'm brushing my hair aside so I can actually see what's going on. I can see that I have a little bit of like a gap right there, so that's where I'm going to start, is right in the gap. I'm just trying to fill in the space. I don't need to fill in my entire brow. I'm just filling in the skin underneath. I'm going in the same direction that my hair is growing in, just doing little flicks, basically trying to mimic hair. And yes, this angle brush that I'm using is a little bit thicker, so if you don't have as much brow hair that is still growing, you might want to get something a little bit thinner, because you will be doing a little bit more detail work. I talked about this a lot in my brushes video, but you want to make sure that you have the right brush for the job that you're trying to do. So if you feel like your makeup or your brushes are kind of fighting the look that you're doing, it might not be your technique. It could just be the tool. So think if you want a thinner line, go with a thinner brush. If you want a thicker line, go with a thicker brush, until you get, you know, a little bit more advanced, and then you can use all aspects of the brush multiple ways. So now I'm dipping into my eyeliner, and I'm just going to do a little kitten wing. following my lower lash line, and then connecting into my actual lash line. No gaps between the liner and your lash line. Just little dashes. Don't try to do the whole line at once, especially like as you get older. Not only do your hands tend to shake a little bit more, but also the skin on our eyelids does start to kind of crepe up, get a little bit more wrinkly, and you just want to be really gentle with that skin, and you want to give yourself a little grace when you're doing your liner. Maybe start with a shadow. If you're a beginner, it's a lot more gentle, a lot more forgiving. And then go for a gel, and then you can work your way up to a liquid liner if that's kind of your thing. And then always taking a step back and making sure that you are balanced on both sides. And like literally take a step back. If you are doing your makeup like this close to the mirror, make sure that you can step back because things look very different a little bit farther away. Okay, eyes are done. So now we are adding our primer, or not, depending on how awesome your lashes are. I'm still loving the Dior. Make sure that every once in a while you're just kind of wiping down that brush. It will work so much better for you. Same with your mascara. Every once in a while wipe down the wand. Because when I said brush, I meant wand. And you'll feel like you just got a new tube of mascara. How often do you need to do that? It really depends. If you feel like your product isn't working well for you anymore, but you haven't really used it like enough to need a replacement, then that's when you need to wipe it down. All right, going in with Smokey Eye Mascara. Starting at the roots and wiggling up. And doing a couple coats. You will definitely know when your lashes are about to go into spider lash zone. And especially with a brush like this, where it's a nylon and it's not plastic, you'll definitely know. Also, if you use, on a wand like this, if you use the part that's a little bit closer to the handle, you'll get a little bit more volume. If you use the part that is furthest away from the handle, you'll get a little bit more precision. So again, taking what you have and using all aspects of it, because you can get lots of different looks with just one brush or one wand kind of thing. All right, I'm going to do my lips first. So this is Kitten Mischief from Lisa Eldridge. I did have just a regular see-through gloss on underneath because it is so dry. And then I'm going to go in with Muse, also by Lisa Eldridge. These are kind of my go-tos when I don't know what to put on my lips, or I'm like running out the door, but I need something on my lips because I always need something on my lips. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Sweet Enough from MAC on my blush and powder brush, which is also from MAC. I'm going to tap that on, and then sweep it away. Tap it on, and then kind of sweep it away. Confidence. And if you feel like you've done too much, you can always go back in with your foundation brush with nothing extra on it unless you've gone like way overboard, and just tap, 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 tap right on top, even if you've powdered, and that will just take it down and it almost looks like a cream blush. And that is the look. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. It's so great to be back with you in 2023, and I hope you enjoyed this everyday look, especially if you're wearing some caramel or butterscotch colors. It's great. You could even wear this look in the summer, especially because it does have those bronze elements. So I do fashion videos every Wednesday. I do beauty videos every Friday, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Hit that thumbs up and the subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!